Hi, I'm Dr. Christiane Northrup, an OBGYN physician and authority on everything that can go right with your body, and I'm here to tell you how to use this knowledge to transform your health and truly flourish. Now, I want to talk with you in the fitness realm and the muscle realm about stretching. Stretching, especially what's called resistant stretching, where you tense your muscles and stretch, helps prevent injury and allows for greater freedom of movement. Resistant stretching is exactly what you do when you yawn and you put your arms over your head and you stretch them while also tensing them. So let's try that. Like that, right? It feels great. So you are stretching your muscles but contracting them at the same time. Dogs and cats do this naturally when they get up from lying down. So just imitate them. What happens when you do this? You increase blood flow to your muscles. You help to remove lactic acid. You prevent soreness after exercise. Resistant stretching also promotes flexibility and helps you relax. Good times to stretch include before and after aerobic exercise, in between strength training sets, and any time you feel that your muscles begin to tighten, such as when you are sitting at your desk and you feel your shoulders moving up around your ears. Being flexible will help you do everything from changing a light bulb to sleeping better. Yoga and/or a resistant stretching class can be a great way to increase your flexibility while also strengthening your muscles. Some of the other benefits of yoga include a decreased pulse rate, decreased blood pressure, decreased respiratory rate, increased respiratory efficiency, a normalized or improved endocrine, gastrointestinal, and excretory functions, improved posture, improved joint range of motion, normalized weight, improved sleep, increased immunity, decreased pain, improved balance. Yoga can be a great form of exercise even if you're not in the best of shape, even if you have some physical limitations. Why? Because most of the asanas or yoga poses can be modified, and you just do what you can do. Just be sure that any yoga instructor you learn from is certified and able to deal with the technical and philosophical fundamentals of teaching yoga. And I want to bring this up because one of my chiropractor friends says the number one injury she is seeing is yoga injuries. Can you believe it? People who have overextended and hurt their joints with yoga. Also, I have known far too many yoga teachers who are requiring hip replacements. Why? Because the people naturally drawn to yoga are hyper flexible. They're the ones who their whole life could get their heel behind their head. They can get in the poses. People like me can't get in the poses. You're not supposed to. I mean, over time you can learn, but you don't want to force yourself. That's why the Yoga Alliance registers teachers who have a minimum of 200 hours of training. Many styles of yoga have their own teacher training and certifications, but beware of gym yoga classes. While some are very good, many gym instructors become certified to teach yoga with a weekend course, and this is when people get injured. So be sure to ask the instructor about his or her training and personal practice before you take the class. Pilates is also a great way to stretch. It is one of my favorite forms of exercise. Again, make sure that you are learning from someone who's trained in what's called classical Pilates. It's the body conditioning program that targets the deep core muscles that support you. The technique was developed by Joseph Pilates, a German athlete who studied many different sports and who developed his method and equipment to complement traditional training programs for athletes. Actually, the story is that Joseph Pilates was stranded in London when World War II broke out, and he couldn't get back to Germany, and he used his techniques to help soldiers stay healthy. Interestingly enough, nobody got the flu who was doing the Pilates exercises, and the Pilates equipment actually was developed because of the single beds that he had access to. So the Pilates reformer is with the springs and so on was developed by Joseph Pilates because the only equipment that he had was those beds and those springs. It's designed to build strength without bulk, as well as increase balance and flexibility. His motto was an hour to the shower. He never did more than an hour. In addition to improved flexibility, some of the benefits of Pilates include improved muscle tone, increased strength, improved posture, a flatter stomach, a leaner appearance overall, diminished back pain, increased joint range of motion, lower stress levels, improved mind-body connection. It's actually a spiritual practice. A more evenly conditioned body. Like yoga, Pilates stresses the harmony between body, mind, and spirit. I find Pilates a great way to get a leaner body. It also has improved my posture and strengthened the muscles that hold me upright. Without Pilates, I'm certain that I would have had a hip replacement by now. It has influenced and improved the way I perform every other activity, including walking. It's generally recommended that you learn Pilates from a trainer who will take you through a workout on the apparatus, the mat, or both, but you can learn Pilates from some good videos. If you prefer to try things at home before venturing to a class or studio, just give it a try. And the great thing about Pilates is it's very gentle, low impact, yet still challenging and highly effective. Many exercises are performed in reclined or seated positions. Most are at least partially weight-bearing. Pilates also helps you become aware of where your body is in space as the movements are flowing yet controlled. Another piece of the Pilates puzzle is that proper breathing technique is emphasized. Now, breathing itself is a great form of exercise, and I truly believe that breathing is the most important part of my exercise routine. In fact, it is way better to gauge your intensity level, and you don't need a formula or fancy heart rate monitor because you're using your breath. You breathe in and out through your nose, and you monitor your breathing. When you breathe properly through your nose, rather than gulping air through your mouth, which is a stress response, you can progress through your workout at a much slower heart rate and breath rate than you might otherwise expect. In fact, John Douillard has trained athletes to climb Mount Everest with no oxygen tanks because you become so efficient at getting the air down to the lower lobes of the lungs by nose breathing than you ever would, and you expand your rib cage. It's also far more comfortable to breathe this way when you are exercising. The minute that your exertion exceeds your ability to breathe through your nose, you're creating free radical damage. So you just back off. You slow down. It's between you and you, not someone at the head of a spin class telling you to go faster. No. You do what your body can do. By the way, have you ever seen a racehorse breathe through its mouth? Never. In fact, all warm-blooded animals breathe through their noses, except humans. Nose breathing immediately engages the parasympathetic rest and digest, rest and restore nervous system. Let's just try it for a minute because I want you to feel the difference. Okay, let's take a deep breath in through our nose, all the way in and all the way out. Now, I want you to take a deep breath in through your mouth. Here we go. Now, what you notice, if I were with you, you would tell me what you noticed. But here's what most people notice. When you breathe deeply in through your nose, it's much longer, slower. The air is going down to the lower lobes of the lungs where the blood is. But it's also where the vagus nerve courses through your diaphragm. So when you expand your diaphragm here, you lower it, the parasympathetic rest and restore nervous system gets engaged. And therefore, you're not stressing yourself out. You actually finish your exercise feeling better than when you started, instead of throwing up at the side of the road after your run, which is all too common. And that's why we have all these athletic injuries in middle school kids. They're literally taught to go beyond their own comfort zone. Mouth breathing. Stop all that. Try approaching all your sports and physical activity in this way, exerting yourself only to the point where you can comfortably breathe through your nose. Then ask your body to do a little more. So you slow it down and then do a little more. And what you're going to find is, over time, you can do this breathing, your exercise. You'll be faster and faster and do more and more with long, slow, deep breaths. So I think you're going to find this very, very helpful. If you are in the habit of mouth breathing, and many of you are, it may take a while for you to develop the chest wall flexibility necessary to nose breathe easily while working out. You may also have to really slow your pace for several months. Do not think that this is a problem. Let your friends go out ahead and get free radical damage. You will win in the end. But the increased oxygenation and the decreased oxidative stress to the body will be well worth it. You will always find yourself energized, not depleted. Okay, now get in touch with your psoas muscle. One more thing to consider when you begin an exercise program is getting in touch with your psoas muscles. They may be the most important muscles in your body. Without this essential muscle group, you wouldn't even be able to get out of bed in the morning. Structurally, your psoas muscles are the deepest muscles in your core. They attach from your 12th thoracic vertebra to your 5 lumbar vertebra. They go through your pelvis and finally attach to your femurs. In fact, they are the only muscles that connect your spine to your legs. Your psoas muscles allow you to bend your hips and legs toward your chest, for example, when you are going upstairs. They also help to move your leg forward when you walk or run. They are the muscles that flex your trunk forward when you bend over to pick something up from the floor. They also stabilize your trunk and spine during movement and sitting. The psoas muscles support your internal organs, and they work like hydraulic pumps, allowing blood and lymph to be pushed in and out of your cells. Your psoas muscles are vital not only to your structural well-being, but also to your psychological well-being. Why? Because of their connection to your breath. Here's why. There are 2 tendons for the diaphragm called the cruri that extend down and connect to the spine alongside where the psoas muscles attach. One of the ligaments, called the medial arcuate, wraps around the top of each psoas. And also the diaphragm and the psoas muscles are connected through fascia that also connects to the outer hip muscles. These connections between the psoas muscle and the diaphragm literally connect your ability to walk and breathe, and also how you respond to fear and excitement. That's because when you are startled or under stress, your psoas contracts. In other words, your psoas has a direct influence on your fight or flight response. If you want to learn more about your psoas muscles, read the Psoas book and/or Stalking the Wild Psoas by Liz Koch believes that our fast-paced, modern lifestyle, including car seats, constrictive clothing, shoes that throw our posture out of alignment, and more, chronically triggers the psoas. It literally embodies our deepest urge for survival and, more profoundly, our elemental desire to flourish. She's amazing. You can also visit her website, coreawareness.com. Okay, so how should you get started with an exercise program? Hopefully I've convinced you that it's worth it. Starting an exercise program can seem intimidating, especially if you've not been exercising regularly. Here's the important thing. Just start somewhere. Just start by doing something to wake up your muscles. Put on some music, dance for a while, see how it feels. Take a walk, enjoy your surroundings without putting any pressure on yourself with regard to how far or how fast you walk. By the way, you know these Fitbit things with the 10,000 steps per day? I bought one and I immediately returned it. Now, if you love it, that's great. But I don't like an external thing making me think that I need to do more. I'd prefer to work with this because it's taken me a lifetime to come home to this. But if that 10,000 step a day Fitbit thing works for you, go with it. But focus on your breathing. Because, you know, it's kind of the opposite of mindfulness, right? It's the opposite. This device on your hand is going to tell you what you should be doing instead of this mind-body connection to your psoas. Anyway, I don't want you to push beyond what is comfortable. Focus on your breathing. Keep up with your new form of movement for 1 month. Why? That's how long it takes to create a habit. Once you form the habit of exercising, start setting some attainable goals for yourself. The added benefit of exercise is that your body will start to crave foods that are good for you, and you may see your diet improve without consciously making the effort to change it. That's how it is, you know. It's like the better it gets, the better it gets. Here are some guidelines that may help you get started with an exercise program. Choose any activity, sport, or form of exercise you enjoy. If you can't think of one, Try to remember your childhood when you were outside playing. What did you love then? Was it dancing and twirling or running and skipping? When you're ready, bring your body and mind back to the present and begin moving your body the way you did then. And then make a commitment to yourself. Share it with somebody. Commit to moving your body in some way that you love, at least 3 times per week. You will start to appreciate the time you spend exercising for how it makes you feel. And learn how to breathe through your nose. Put little sticky notes around on your refrigerator, your bathroom mirror that just say breathe, and then breathe through your nose. Try to notice the times your mouth breathing. You will be under stress, I promise. Now practice the steps I outlined earlier. Don't sabotage your efforts. Remember, balance is the key to a successful exercise program. I'd actually rather see you do less consistently than overextending and then stopping altogether. I don't think that everyone needs to train for a 10K or a 5K or a marathon. But if that's your thing, do it. But do it in a way that's sustainable. I know so many runners past the age of 40 who can no longer run. Don't push yourself to exhaustion or overeat to compensate for tough workouts. Have fun. The more you enjoy exercise, the better your chances of sticking with it. Hang out with some kids under the age of 5. They're running around the neighborhood. They're riding their little balance bikes. They don't think of it as exercise. They just enjoy being embodied. And there's nothing about growing older that should make that less fun. For more inspirational tips, visit my blog and explore drnorthrup.com, where you will find wisdom for your body, mind, and spirit. Visit daily to discover the connection between your thoughts, beliefs, physical health, and life circumstances. And remember, you are in the driver's seat of your health, and you can make profound changes.